Hello, besties. Good evening, and we are here to recap this week's episode of Salt Lake City and Miami. We were blessed this week as Bravoholics. We got 4 episodes of Real Housewives of Miami, and I'm telling you, this is by far one of the best cast, and they are taking this franchise to a whole new level. Those 4 episodes are so freaking insane that we are gonna get into details. But right now, I want to focus on Salt Lake City because uh, it's getting exhausting, to be honest, to talk about this franchise right now. The drama is so mediocre, but the friends of Dana and NGK are coming to help this franchise to come out of the darkness. And I'm not saying that it's a dark season or anything like that. It's just being a bunch of nothingness. And the cast is so divided to the point that we think that nobody likes each other. It feels like every single person on that cast is just there to do their job, get their paycheck, but they're not true friends or anything like that. That's how it feels like. But we had Dana and NGK who joined as friend of halfway through the season. And the last 2 episodes has been all about the rise of the friend of. In our last episode, we have Dana, the person who I did not know a thing about, finally found her voice and she had delivered in this episode. But let's start from the beginning. We know that the ladies were going to a yacht, which, by the way, this time it was a yacht, not like in Potomac. There was some canoe that you had to pedal. This time they said, no, we're not doing that workout. This is not our thing. We're gonna actually go on a yacht. And that trip to the yacht started in the previous episode when NGK told, Jen Shaw about the whole party, about Coach Shaw's birthday party. And Jen Shaw felt like Lisa Barlow was taking NGK's side for absolutely no reason. And she said on the show that I care so much about Lisa Barlow, why she's doing this to me. And I'm thinking to myself, when was the last time that Jen Shah actually had Lisa Barlow's back? Because if I'm not wrong, she's been having kiki time with Meredith for this whole entire season. And Meredith is not friend with Lisa. So to Jen's standards, she shouldn't be asking for loyalty if she can deliver the same type of loyalty that she's asking for. In that yacht, we see how the dynamics are really shifting. We see Heather supporting Jen Shah blindly, no matter what. She's gonna be there, like she's crying and she's saying, "Oh my gosh, you guys don't understand what I'm going through. Like, not that many people go through what I'm going right now." I'm like, yes, because not everybody's defrauding victims and elderly from their money. So yes, we're not going through it. We're having other issues. We have hard times in other levels. People do have hard lives, um, and difficulties. But yes, Jen Shah, we are not going through what you're going because we're not stealing money from the elderly. That's plain and simple. So when she said that the ladies are not understanding her, I mean, I can sympathize with her, but at the same time, we have to be realistic on this. We have to understand that Jen Shah stole money from elderlies, and that is plain and simple. She pled guilty. And obviously, on the show right now, where we are right now, she has defended her innocence every single episode. Her reaction, though, based on what she said, it was because she was drunk. So she decided to first push Lisa Barlow away physically and same. She put her hands on her and pushed her away, and that made Lisa Barlow snap. She was like, she was not there for that kind of treatment. On the confessional, she said that she called Jen Shah the fakest person, and they like fake like her boobs and her face and fake and all the stuff. And then we saw Jen Shah grabbing somebody's shoes and tossing into the water. And I'm telling you one thing, don't mess with my shoes. And I think Jen Shah knows what she was doing right there. She is a woman who loves fashion. And I'm telling you, if anyone grabs my shoes and tosses it into the water, that is big. That's a big problem. Like we will have issues. Like don't play with my shoes. The producers tell the ladies because they're talking in a different side of the yacht. Obviously, it's only NGK, Whitney, and Lisa who are talking because we have obviously Heather playing blind friendship and blind loyalty to Jen, trying to console her on the other side of the yacht. But the producer asked them like, "Hey, there is a shoe in the water. Just letting you know." And Lisa Barlow, being Lisa Barlow, she said, "Oh my God, I hope it's not my YSL. They are pre-order. They're hard to get. They're pre-order." She kept saying they were pre-order, which means that probably they were just released and they were $1,500 if I'm not wrong. But then we found out, you guys, it was NGK shoes, which are also brand new, and they were also $1,500. And honestly, she should add that to the invoice for the cold shop party. She said it was $15,000, and now we add $1,500 from the shoes, so she should be charging the shop a total of $16,500 for the damage that she has caused to her shoes. I will be invoicing her immediately. I will be like, I don't care about the party, it's done, but my shoes, you don't play with that. There is moments on the yacht that is really fun, like the captain telling Whitney to stop twerking and to go somewhere else to twerk. Like don't twerk on the yacht, go somewhere else. This is not the place, not the time, and you're not supposed to be doing it right here. So that was really funny. Also, Whitney saying that she wanted to get Jen Shah a life jacket because Jen Shah said that she was gonna jump off the boat. So she said, "But can I get you a life jacket before you do that, just in case?" Whitney has been really funny this season. I guess her spiritual journey is opening this sense of like humor that I maybe didn't notice before. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm truly enjoying that because we need somebody who brings a little of the fun, because once again it's been nothingness. So at least I want to laugh at something. And Whitney delivering some lines that they're funny. I appreciate that. So good job, Whitney. Good job on bringing some light, humor to this crazy, crazy franchise. So I want to ask you guys, and I want you guys to comment on the section down below, on the comment section, or leave it on Twitter, or leave it on YouTube. If you're listening, obviously my podcast right now, you can find me on Martinis with Eddie on all my platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. So I want to know your opinion. Do you think that Jen Shah, anger towards Lisa Barlow is justified? What do you think? Was she on the right to be upset with Lisa Barlow the whole entire time on the yacht? Was it necessary for her to throw that shoe into the water? Because honestly, you guys, if you ask me, I think it was just Jen Shah being upset for stealing money from other people. There was absolutely no reason. The only reason why Lisa Barlow, was with NGK was because she was trying to be a friend or a support system after Jen Shah tossed the champagne glass on her head, right? So, I mean, if you ask me, it makes no freaking sense. Like everything on this franchise right now, it doesn't make any sense. The burst of anger, tossing the shoe, it seems to me more like a mental breakdown. Somebody who got too drunk and is going through a lot as consequence of their actions than Lisa Barlow. And we need to realize one thing. I'm not saying the NGH creating a troll account with her husband is okay. It's not okay. Online bullying is not okay, especially when it's done very maliciously. If it's for fun and kiki, like we all do on Twitter, we go on Twitter to like comment and create tweets that make us laugh and make us think about this franchise because we love that so much. We love reality TV so much. We love Bravo so much. So I understand what is creating an account and just make kind of light humor to these franchises or have conversations about these franchises because we all do. We talk about the heavy stuff and we talk about the light stuff and we make fun of people's comments and we kiki with the housewife or the Bravo Labs on Twitter, and that's part of the fun of reality TV right now. But it's a different story if you create an account purposely to attack other people. And the fact that Jen Shah has made this storyline of NGH as like the biggest issue of her life, and like you have bigger issues yourself because you created these issues. You made the mistake. You stole money, allegedly, but I mean technically you admitted to it. So I do not understand why she feels like she needs to be upset to other people instead of realizing that she's the one who made the mistake in the first place. Or maybe that's her reaction, that maybe that's her, defense mechanism. And I mean, we had seen Jen Shah reacting to people even before she got charged and she got arrested in season 2. During season 1 she had a lot of physical reactions. We had her tossing glasses, we had her reacting violently, and I'm not saying physically, I'm talking verbally. She has exploded to other housewives. So once again, I'm gonna ask you, for those who are watching on YouTube, you can leave a comment on the live comment section right now. Let me know what you think. Do you think that Jane Shah's reactions to Lisa Barlow is justified? Do you think that Jane Shah anger right now is a response or a defense mechanism to her legal issues, or if it's something that has happened since season 1 before she even got charged? I believe there's a combination of all that. I believe that she already had anger issues previously. We all have some. We all react to things. I'm not saying that she is, this angry monster. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that she had shown previously some reactions towards the housewife that might be a little, too much verbally. And then adding to that layer the fact that she got arrested and charged for all this criminal stuff. And then we have her knowing that it's getting closer to that court date on the show that we haven't spoke about that. We haven't spoken about the fact that when they were filming, she was approaching to that sentencing, and then at the end of the season we found out that she pled guilty while she's saying that she was innocent the whole entire time. So yeah, just go to the comment sections and let me know what you think. When they go to the house, now they're back to the house. Jen Shah is passed out in the van. It's giving me Erica Jane vibes. When she was passed down the yacht last season, when she got drunk and everybody's making excuses about her getting drunk because she now, she's going through so much because that's how she's trying to navigate her issues. That's the same vibe that I'm getting with Jen Shah. The same story. Like now she's getting drunk because she has so many issues and she's blacking out. She doesn't remember that she pushed Lisa Barlow. And she doesn't remember half of the trip on the yacht. She doesn't even remember tossing the shoe into the water. So that is a little problematic right there. I'm not saying that, that she's an alcoholic, but because we've been there. We've been probably drunk and blacked out. But when we start drowning our issues into alcohol, that leads to bigger problems. So always think about that when we are going through something. Our first reaction as human is trying to, to masquerade, to put a face to the world, to hide our issues. And alcohol or drugs or any vice like that is going to make it worse. So please, if you have any issues, if you're going through anything, it's better to talk to somebody and open up and let it out and cry and do everything that's necessary to find the support. Don't rely on alcohol or drugs because that is going to send you into a spiral. And that's what I'm seeing on Jen's chat right now on this last episode. But the ladies were surprised by Jen Shah with a dinner. This dinner was finally an expression of Jen Shah's culture that we probably only have seen on season 1 for Meredith's birthday very briefly. You know, very, very briefly. She had the dancers, and that was pretty much it. This time she had the food. She was dressed as a Polynesian person. She had the Polynesian, dancers, delicious, delicious food. And I appreciate that. I have said this before in previous franchises or whenever a housewife showcase their culture. I appreciate it. I love, love, love when they showcase something that is so personal to anyone, like their culture. Like we saw, Crystal with the new Chinese New Year. We saw Garcelle with her Haitian dinner. We now have Jen Shah on Salt Lake City with her Polynesian dinner too. That was fun. Started fun though. There was good intentions to bring these girls together and have a good time, but as we all know, things get bad real quick. One part that I did like and I enjoy a lot, because let's be honest, we all like hot guys, is when the police busted the party. They decided to bust the party, and they were strippers hired by Jen Shah, which I find really ironic that she hires strippers dressed as cops, a season later after she got arrested by real cops. So I don't know how we'll feel. I will have PTSD. I will definitely not hire anyone dressed as a cop. Maybe a fireman. We have many options of hot working class, I don't know, like we have firemen, we have blue collar people like dress, I don't know, or like I don't know, finance people or bankers or teacher, the hat teacher, or so I don't know. There's so many fantasies out there that we can use, but she decided to go with cops. That was really funny because I agree with Lisa Barlow. I do not like to be touched. I do not like anyone getting too close to me, especially if I don't know where their hands has been. So if you are going to approach me, be mindful of that. A hug, maybe, maybe. Sometimes it's just a little, I get a little awkward and just tap the shoulders. Um, but yeah, like I like my space, my personal space to be respected. So I understand Lisa Barlow's reaction. I know a lot of people were saying that she was being too much and too dramatic, but trust me, there's a lot of people who don't like to be touched. Um, Strippers, I love you guys, but after you dance and are like doing all the dances, you get sweaty and sweat. Oh no, unless I want to get sweaty, yes. But if I'm dressed up, we're having a dinner, the last thing that I want is to feel somebody else's sweat running down my face. So that was hysterical. Then that's when the dinner got good, because I was waiting for something to happen once again. And who came to the rescue? Dana. Dana exposed Heather as a hypocrite. And I've been waiting for someone to actually do that properly with facts, with the perfect, you know, piece of information because Dana was present when Heather was saying that if Jen Shap makes her decide between NGH friendship or Jen Shap's friendship, she will not be friend with Jen Shap. That was so good because I'm loving this rise of the friend of on Salt Lake City. Give them their snowflake. I'm still wondering why they didn't get it. I'm starting to believe that they did not get their snowflakes because they started to shoot later. I'm getting the vibes that they were filming with Jenny at the beginning of the season. And because the whole thing with Jenny happened, where she got fired halfway through the filming, they decided to bring them in and test how they do as a friend of halfway through the season. And you can tell that the production was scrambling around to make sure that the storylines make some sense, but they do not. Because it does feel like a lot of the pieces that connect every story are missing. And the only explanation that I have as a viewer who has watched Housewife since day one is that many of those pieces were when Jenny was filming. So they have to like completely erase her from the storylines and find ways to connect them and make them fluid. And that did not work that well because you can tell that something is missing. And those ingredients they were feeling like they were gone at the beginning are coming into play right now that NGK and Dana finally are part of the conversation. They are definitely working so hard for that paycheck that they need to get a snowflake, even just for the last two episodes. You know that they can bring it. And the episode before this one was the rise of NGK. When she faced Jen Shah about the Kosha birthday party, when she was delivering confessionals, when she pretty much brought receipts to the table and started counting, okay, I paid this much and this much and this much for you. That right there was old school housewife confessional, and I'm here for that. And on this last episode, we had Dana, who also delivered on the confessionals, who looks beautiful actually in those confessionals too. And she went head to head with Heather with ease. She didn't skip one beat. She was like, Heather, I know what you said. You are lying. I don't know what you have to pretend to be this way in front of Jen when you were saying something else behind her back. And the Jen Shah versus Heather moment started where Jen Shah was asking Heather to stop talking to Angie H because she was mocking her family online and she knew that she was coming to the audition knowing that she was going to be there. And finally, you can see in her face like it's clicking like wait a minute, I was missing these little pieces, or I was, you know, I didn't put one and one together right there. But right now that Dana exposed you, I can see that you're not this ride or die person that you are telling me you are. And I still do not understand what type of loyalty Jen Shah expect from people when she can't even give that to. And buying gift and buying friendships are not a way to be a friend. That's not the way to be a friend, you know. And I noticed that since day one that she seems to go for buying a friend. Like, Um, for example, that happened in the previous episode when she told NGK that she gave her a necklace, like as a thank you. When she didn't say thank you, she just gave her the necklace. So technically, she's expecting that this friend is okay with everything that is happening, or the fact that she ignored, you know, paying her for the party by giving her a necklace that she was wearing in the moment. So for Jensha to ask, Heather to stop talking to NGH, it seems a little weird. Like, what kind of friends does that? When she's been hanging out with Meredith and she's pretending to be friend with Lisa Barlow at the beginning of the episode, then that's why she got upset. Oh my God, you're my friend. How can you do this to me? How can you side with NGK? But here you are being friend with Meredith. So what kind of friendship Jensha wants? Jensha just wants a one-way street friendship. And it's like either you are loyal to me or you're not my friend. And that is not a friendship. So the episode ends right there when Heather walks away from the table. She tells Jane Shack to find a new Heather Gay. And I'm here thinking, okay, maybe we should listen to her advice and do find a new Heather Gay for the show, because Heather Gay is not it. She's not the it girl. She's not the it girl. She's never been the it girl. So she's exhausting sometimes too. So we should listen to her. We should listen to Heather Gay's advice and just find somebody else. How crazy, you guys. We are, halfway through Salt Lake City, and finally we see good moments after 10 episodes. And it's not even delivered by the actual housewives. It's delivered by the friend of. They are like throwing grenades into this franchise and just making everybody else work for their paychecks. Because if Dana didn't bring this up, this dinner would have been boring. If NGK did not bring up the fact that she paid for that dinner last week, we wouldn't have any conversations, because there's nothing going on beside that. So Bravo needs to give these ladies the snowflake. I'm excited to see what's coming this week, because I think we finally get to the part about the whole black eye, that it will be episode 11. And the whole trailer when it was released, the first trailer, it was centered around this black eye. And as a good Bravo viewer, I had the feeling that this black eye situation is so dumb that it's going to be nothing, and it's going to be an accident. It's going to be maybe Jensha pushed the door, too quick and hit Heather in the face without that intention. But they making us believe that it was like a fight. I highly doubt that there was any physical altercation that got Heather that black eye. And I want to see what it really is. I mean, and I don't want to be disappointed, but I have the feeling that I'm going to be. So we are going to wait for this upcoming episode to see what really happens and how this black eye story unfolds. Now we are going down to Miami. Miami. I love Miami, you guys. Miami is my favorite franchise in the moment. I love Potomac. That's my favorite franchise. I love Beverly Hills. That one's still not filming. I love it. But Miami as a cast, as a franchise, is delivering so much. And these premiere episodes are so good. Let's talk about the production value first before we get into the mess. I want to talk about surface stuff like cinematography and music and editing and camera angles and composition and colors. Whoever is producing that franchise, it's taking this so seriously that it looks so cinematic. like when they show Miami, when they introduce the housewife walking into places, when they introduce the places, like that moment when um Alexia walked into her wedding venue that is surrounded by roses. That was absolutely beautiful. Or when Alexia once again walked into, Lisa's house at that feel good party, like good vibes parties, like the slow motion of the dress and the lighting in the background. Absolutely beautiful. And I want to give props to the production company, props to Peacock because they are putting the money where it belongs, which is creating a great franchise. And I'm asking you, if you're watching right now, guys, and you haven't watched it yet because it's on Peacock, go watch it. It's worth to get Peacock just for Miami, so you can watch it as we all watching it. Because I need people to stop asking Bravo to take over Miami again. I think Bravo has way too many franchises on their hand that I don't want them to ruin this beautiful, beautiful production. Because I had the feeling that if Bravo takes over, their budget is gonna be different. They're not gonna be so focused on Miami because they're gonna be putting their money on Salt Lake City, or putting the money on Beverly Hills, or putting their money on Atlanta or Potomac. They have a lot of franchises. And I think because Peacock has just a few housewife related shows right now, we have Miami and we have Ultimate Girls Trip. They're putting their money on those franchises. So we should stop asking them to be moved to Bravo. Instead, just get the basic, mega basic Peacock subscription. I know that if you have Bravo Insider, I think you either get a discount or you get it for free. I'm not really sure because I have Peacock, and I mean I'm not only watching it because of Bravo show. There's many other shows that I watch on Peacock. So I'm asking you, take the leap of faith and subscribe to Peacock. I'm not being paid by Peacock. I just want you guys to watch the magic of Miami, which starts with the whole divorce. That I feel so bad for Lisa Hutchinson because it must be really freaking hard to watch this because she did not know a lot of the stuff that were happening behind the scene. So production has made this really cool, like it's showing you like what is called the present story, which is what's happening in the moment, and then they jump in timelines like to the future, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, and they give you little pieces of that horrible divorce. Well, it started to feel like there's issues in at their house, at the Hutchinson house, when Larsa brought up the mortgage. Nobody should feel offended if you are told that you have a mortgage, even if you don't have one. It's not a big deal. A lot of people have mortgages. I have a mortgage. That's how you get a house. And even if you have the cash to purchase the house, you still want some liquidity and equity to the house. So having a mortgage it's actually, a positive thing in a lot of in a lot of levels. So when Larsa started talking about the mortgage and how they rent the house either for music videos or whatever, Lisa's reaction didn't seem like she was offended by that particularly. It seems more like a reaction to something deeper. And Kiki was the one that it was putting one and one together while they were talking at Marisol's home. Because Lisa said that Lenny was working out, that he was eating right, and she's never seen him being this active or whatever. And Kiki said, well, girl, if you're not getting the boom, 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 it means that he's getting it somewhere else. So you start to see how the story is heading towards that. And it's giving you the hint that something is happening behind closed doors. And we as viewers, if you watch the previous season, you know that Lenny seems to be out of the marriage. He was not invested. He was not happy. He never showed an ounce of interest to conversate and have a dialogue with Lisa about anything. He was always, dismissing her or on his phone. Not just this season. That started happening before. So you see this roller coaster where Lisa is trying so hard to put on a face and put this like we are married and we are good and we go through ups and downs and we are in an up right now and it's great. Every single time the episode ends, they do that little flashbacks and I mean fast forward situation where they show what's happening in the future, like 2-3 weeks ahead. It breaks my heart because Lisa is trying so hard to keep her marriage together, no matter what the reasons are. I don't care if it's for money or because she actually loved Lenny or because her kids. I mean, Lisa went through, pregnancy issues before, and Lenny wanted her to get pregnant so badly, and we saw her suffering, we saw her crying, and she was trying really hard to give him also the happiness of a family, and now they finally have it. So to see this marriage fall apart as is happening, because we as viewers we are seeing it happening, it's like crazy. It's not like they planned this or it just happened at the end of the filming or anything. As they are filming is when they start to just fall apart. Obviously, we had seen this before. We know that they're not so great at home. No matter how many times Lisa says otherwise, they're not okay. They had issues. But I believe that Lisa deep inside thought that she was going to be able to maintain this idea of, oh, we are perfectly fine and pretend and everything was going to go away. We also have the fact that I want to talk about the hot mic, so stick around for like another like 10 minutes. Now I don't want to get too deep into other items other moments on the show because I feel like the Lisa Hodgkin divorce and the Lenny hot mic, it's like the center of the conversation of this last 4 episodes. But also the Larsa versus Lisa is attached to that because to me Lisa is not offended by Larsa's comments about having a mortgage, not knowing how Lenny managed their financials and not knowing about their financials. I think Lisa is truly upset at the fact that she knows that her marriage is about to end and she's scared that if it ends, all this lifestyle that she has, all the house, the money, the access to things is gonna go away. Obviously, I'm not sure. How in love she truly is with Lenny, but at least there is a sign that financial struggle is scary to her. And when Larsa brought up the mortgage, she realized that maybe she's not well versed on financials and especially their financial situation. And as someone who's married and depends 100% of the man, it must be really scary to be facing that, possibility. And almost like inevitably knowing that's going to happen, you know? Because they go head to head and they were friends. They were good friends. And Lisa saying that it's because what she did in New York, that she didn't have, you know, Lars's back, about the whole commentary that it was being thrown during the reunion. Adriana was saying that her, the Laura, I mean, Lars's back, backside, her butt didn't look natural. And I mean, I need Larsa also to, I don't know, I just can't digest Larsa's voice. It sounds like a, you know, I don't know, like a Sheen version of, Kim Kardashian's voice. Like that baby voice that it was so Paris Hilton 2000s, that I'm like, girl, that's not you. I don't know what you're trying to do, but it's just like I can't stand it. Her apartment is pretty though, and the fact that they were saying that it was for OnlyFans models, I don't know why that was supposed to be something like offensive. I mean, if you have an OnlyFans, I give you props. I don't have the balls to have one. I mean, I'm not opposed to nudity. I'm not opposed. I'm not a prude person, but I also don't see myself as like I'm gonna put myself out there that much, like sexually. Like, yeah, maybe the nude photos, artistically talking, are okay. I did some before. I did modeling before, so artistic nudity is fine with me. But when I think of OnlyFans, to me, it feels like there's more to it than just artistic news and feet, like Larsa says. That's just my opinion. I mean, I don't subscribe to OnlyFans to see people's feet, but that's what he says. Um, but I like that on each episode that we had seen so far, there is a party, and not just like any party. It's like real, nice, well decorated, well planned parties. Let's start with Lars's good vibes. Nude stars, fresh stars party. It was beautiful. It was at the rooftop in her new apartment. That's when the whole mortgage drama started to like boil. Then we go into Alexia's wedding, which is another drama. I did not know the organizing and planning a wedding was going to be so dramatic. I planned my wedding with my wedding planner, and I'm so happy that I was very direct and I knew exactly what I wanted, and it went the way that I wanted. So I can understand Alexia's, being a little upset about Gertie not delivering the party that she wanted because production was too big or whatever, and she went with somebody else. But the conversation is still going. I'm like, oh my God, you already got married. And I love Alexia, but I still don't understand the issue beside the party with Gertie. It feels like there's something more. It seems like it's too serious. And I mean, the wedding that she got is absolutely beautiful. She looks stunning. I love Alexia. Alexia's a beautiful woman. She reminds me of my mother. The way that she talks to Peter about like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to protect you forever. That's such a Latin mom to say. I'm 39 and I still get the same conversation even though I'm married and I have my own life and I have lived my life and I know better. My mom still called me to tell me that no matter what, she's going to be always there to protect me. And when you came to this world, you were my light, and I'm gonna make sure that that light is protected. And typical moms say like, Dios te bendiga y que tengas un buen día. Y no importa si alguien te hace daño, yo estoy aquí para ti. So it's so funny to me that I see that Alexia version on our TV, and all I think is, oh my gosh, my mom and I had the same conversation not too long ago, and I'm 39. So I'm happy to see Alexia having that, wedding that she's been always looking forward to. Seeing her, having Peter and Todd getting along, she deserved that. She is a beautiful, nice, sweet person. I met her during BravoCon. I had pictures with her. I spoke to her in Spanish. I will never forget that part. That was how I got her attention because everybody's yelling, and I decided to, call her name and start like talking to her in Spanish, and that was kind of like her eyes were like, oh my gosh. She ran to me, we hugged, we took picture, we talked. So I will never forget that part. And I love her. I love Alexia. But once again, I do not get the Alexia versus Gertie um you know fight right now in the argument. It looks like it's going to get even heated down the road. It seems to be that it's going to get really bad between them two. At the wedding, we see Lisa and Larsa once again talking about the mortgage. This time, Lisa called Lenny on the phone, and she told him that Larsa had to jump the plank, and she started looking for a plank. She needs to jump the plank. She needs to jump the plank. Plank, plank. And all I can think is like, wait a minute. That sounds like clamp, clamp, clamp. Or like clinking, clink, clink, clank. Those kind of like moments in Housewives that you kind of like gonna use as a meme. So now I have to find the perfect excuse to use like she needs to jump the plank because I it just remind me of the clamp and clink clink. Um, that is at the wedding, right? And once again, the cinematography was beautiful. The dress was beautiful. I mean, Alexia just looks stunning, and I'm very happy for her. She deserved this. She deserved this moment, and especially after losing her mom because of COVID and not being able to, get married before because of that. It feels like it's just meant to be a beautiful moment, and that bow, amazing. I want my second wedding, when I renew my vows with my husband, to be something like that, like at sea. I'm not a big beach person. I'm afraid to drown. That's one of my fears. But the image of getting married on a boat, under the sky, the stars and the fireworks and the sea in the background, it's such a beautiful image, and I'm happy for Alexia. Moving on to the next party, it's the dogs. Which, by the way, I'm gonna give props to Larsa because I have 3 dogs and I also throw, doggy parties, and I'm very serious about that because those are my children. I don't have kids, so those are my children. So each year we invite the family, we invite, our doggy nephews and nieces to come and play with our dogs. Um, so Larsa, props for throwing an amazing doggy party at the beach, which I hope Robin Dixon watched because that fun at the park flop party that she threw on Potomac was a disaster, was low budget, and it was supposed to be for family and kids. And she didn't even have a freaking table with like drinks or anything. So, Robin Dixon, next time you plan a party, you need to call Larsa because she knows how to throw a party, even for her own dog. At this party, we found out that Adriana wants to get a BBL. And the funniest part is that the camera cuts to Larsa's reaction. Her face was like that serious. And then she said, like, this bitch was talking about my butt not too long ago in New York City and making fun of it. And now she wants to get one. And like, listen, I'm gonna be honest. I'm all for plastic surgeries. I'm all for it. Like if you want something change your body, do it. It's completely fine. Just be upfront. Adriana did it. Like I mean, I did it because of breathing issues, but I got a deviated septum fix, which also changed the look of my nose. And I don't care talking about it. If somebody asks me, "Wait, your nose looks different. What happened?" I just say I changed it. Why not? But the best part is that Adriana is asking Larsa to go with her, and low key throwing shade too, saying like, "Hey, I'm trying to get artificial help. You know, at least I'm being upfront about it. At least I'm saying what I'm doing." So that's low key shade saying that Larsa has been denying her butt, you know, in haste, by artificial ways, like she said. That was really funny, and I hope that we get to see this. I mean, it could be a really nice bonding experience between Adriana and Larsa. I mean, Larsa's butt though. I need her to keep an eye on that, because plastic surgeries can go both way. Either make you look better, or too much can look weird. And we are in that line where some outfits, and especially like yoga pants and stuff like that, when it's just like the butt, starting to get borderline unnatural. And I'm not trying to bash her body in any means. This is not about how she looks. She's beautiful. Larsa, it's a beautiful woman. It doesn't matter if she got it through enhancement or not. I'm all for it. But we need to make sure that when we are enhancing our body, we don't cross that line between natural and just too much. There's a fine line. And when you cross that line, your body starts looking weird. Then, talking about another party, which why I'm wearing pink right now. If you are watching on YouTube or on Twitter, you see I'm wearing a pink top. If you are listening on my podcast, I'm just describing it to you. And the reason why is because Lisa, on the fourth episode, she has a party called Good Vibes Only. And it's all pink. The pink is the vibe, is the good vibes. She even makes Lenny change his shirt to pink because she didn't want to like break the vibe. I mean, I kind of know how people react to Lisa sometimes, because she sounds a little entitled at times, in a little sheltered, meaning like she lives in a bubble. And you see that, especially in this episode, in the last episode, in the last few minutes, you see that how she seems to be unaware of her surrounding, how she is not, you know, responding to Lenny dismissiveness. Is that a word? I don't know. I hope that it is. If it's not a word, you guys, dismissiveness, leave it in the comment. I feel like Teresa right now, trying like making up words or like not knowing if they're real or not. But we saw how on like a dinner that they had the night before, when the nanny broke her arm. Oh yeah, there was a nanny and she broke her arm, and there was an argument about calling 911 or not. On this argument, I'm with Lenny. You don't call 911 for a broken arm. You take him to the hospital. You know, he was right. You don't call an ambulance. That's for like life-threatening situations. They're not gonna do anything. Just literally just drive the person to the hospital. So you take the person, take it to the hospital. But they had a dinner, and she was trying to like make it look like they are in this perfect marriage. Like, oh, we lean on each other. We do all this stuff. And he's like, yeah, literally checking his phone. If you are checking your phone when you are with your partner on a romantic dinner, like if you're having a regular cafe run or whatever, you're checking your phone, that's fine. But when you plan what it looks like a romantic dinner and you're checking your phone, maybe you need to check your own relationship. Once again, you start to get the hint, even before we get to the hot mic. even though we know right now that they are, not together and it's messy, like really messy. But she's so unaware of all this stuff, or maybe she doesn't want to know. And it's really sad because she is such a beautiful woman and she has a beautiful family, she has a beautiful life, but it seems to be that the foundation of this relationship was so damaged and that he wanted out. He wanted out so bad that we got the hot mic. And now we're getting into that right now because that shit was so freaking good. Yes, I know. I shouldn't be saying this because it was about somebody's marriage and how this person was cheating and stuff like that. But as a Bravo viewer, as a housewife fan, as a Bravo holic, as somebody who enjoys making content about these shows, my jaw was on the floor. To me personally, that is probably the most shocking moment this year on any housewife franchise. And it's going to be for a while because the information that we got on that hot mic make Lisa Barlow's hot mic like nothing, like all news. Like Lisa Barlow's hot mic is like nothing compared to Lenny's. Lenny's was insanity. The fact that this man is whispering, thinking that his voice is not being caught by the mic, I question that because he's not stupid. He's a freaking doctor. And he's been on TV for quite a while now. So he knows that it doesn't matter how low you whisper, the mic is going to catch what you're saying. And audio can be enhanced, can be the volume can be changed. You can bring the ramp, you can ramp up the volume of the audio, and you can still listen to it. So the fact that he said all this stuff on while he was mic'd, it makes me feel like he really wanted this to be out. This was his way out. He saw that moment when Vito confessed to him that he was single. I was like, okay, I'm gonna open up and it's time to go. I'm out of here. And I don't care if the world knows it. Actually, he wanted the world to know. He wanted the world to know that his marriage was done and he was done for a very long time. He said that he was sleeping with somebody else that he cares. That he wasn't sleeping with Lisa because she cared for somebody else. And her kid was literally in the same room. That to me was so disgusting. As a parent, that was so low because maybe the kid might not know what they're talking about right now. But one day, this kid's gonna be old enough to ask questions and understand why their parents got divorced. That there is footage of his own dad admitting of cheating on his mom and wanting to leave. That is so fucked up that put Lenny like on the top of the list of like one of the worst husbands ever, beating uh, Bedore, beating even disgusting what his fucking face, the lawyer Girardi, because Girardi is a piece of shit for stealing money from the victims, but he didn't have a son running around in his house while talking about cheating on Erica. As a parent, I'm talking as a parent. As a person, they're fighting for the title. But I'm just being honest. I couldn't digest the fact that he was venting to Vito in front of his own child. That was insanity to me. The way that the editing was showing, Lisa, and then uh, how she was like saying how much in love she was, and how, she was telling, Julia, because Julia feels like, their marriage is going through issues because she's an empty nester right now. Um, and how the Hodgkins don't divorce, and literally as soon as she said that, they cut back to Lenny and Vito talking, and then they show Lisa having a good time with her friends, and they keep, the conversation is happening because it's a hot mic. There's no visuals of it. There's just the audio, and it's playing over the party. And the fact that at the end, Vito said like, "Oh shit, we're mic'd. Are we mic'd or not?" And Lenny said like, "Yeah, we are. That's why I'm whispering." You're not telling me that you don't know how mics work. Shocking. Shocking, shocking, shocking. Once again, the man doing the most, and the women having no power because they pretty much gave the whole thing to the man. And the previews for the upcoming episodes, when Lisa walks into the house and he doesn't want her there, a court ruling is gonna stop her from going into her own house. That, based on my understanding, she's getting nothing out of it because she was not on the deed of the house. Allegedly. That's what Larsa said on the show. So, people out there, if you're married, make sure that all your legal papers and stuff are always, up to date. Make sure that you know your financials. We had seen this happening over and over on The Housewives. Erica Jane has nothing left because allegedly she did not know where the money was coming or going. Know your issues. Teresa Judah, she went to jail literally because she signed papers without knowing of her husband's doing. What I'm saying is, even if you love your partner, you need to know what you are signing. You need to know where your money is going to, and you need to know where your assets are located. That's my advice before we go, because we have there's more tea happening. There's more housewife coming. Tomorrow, Monday, we have Southern Hospitality. On Tuesday this week, I'll make the recap of Salt Lake City Potomac and Southern Hospitality together. I'm gonna do Potomac, Southern Hospitality on Tuesday, a recap. On Friday, I have Larry from Bravo by Gays. It's a good friend of mine. I love him. So tune in on Friday. On Thursday, I will have the recap of Salt Lake City and Miami for the new episode. So stay tuned. There's more tea to come here on Martini with Eddie. And if you enjoyed this episode, and if you enjoy my kiki with you, make sure you subscribe. Go to my podcast and subscribe to my podcast, and make sure that you click on the notifications so you get notified when a new podcast drop. Go to YouTube, they do the same thing. Click the little bell so you get a notification when we have new videos on YouTube. Go to Twitter, go to Instagram. You can find me as Martinis with Eddie. More guests, more tea is coming. Bye, besties.